Hello, everybody. Waiting for somebody, so wanted to put this out there. It's almost race weekend, right? It's Thursday today, and this weekend everybody's going to go racing. And so one thing that has come out into my mind, one, by watching more amateur races and watching amateurs, two, going to the pro race this weekend and watching how they go about things, and three, myself racing again after 9 years. So this is what I see, and one thing that you guys can kind of pay attention to and try to have a better grasp on. So when I'm watching somebody race myself, you know, an amateur to pro is a different level of it, because the pros have figured it out a little bit more and don't get so attached to this situation. So when there's somebody in front of this rider, myself, an amateur or even pro, you have a tendency of overriding because your attention is ahead of yourself. So you're overriding, and sometimes that overriding is causing you to go a little slower because you're making mistakes, or you're going to be using more energy, right? Now, you pass that person, right? When you pass that person, boom, your attention now goes behind you on that person. So before it was ahead of you, you're overriding. Now that attention went behind you, now you're underriding, and you're starting to ride a little more tense, a little more hesitant, and that's causing a little bit more mistakes and causing you to use more energy. So the thing is that when you're racing, you're never focused on that present moment where you're at, where those wheels are, where your hands, your feet, your hips are, all these different things. In the race, you're usually ahead of yourself or behind yourself, and never right with yourself. But in practice, everybody has a sense that they maybe ride better, a little bit more comfortable, maybe don't use so much energy. Because why? You're never ahead of yourself. You're never behind yourself. You're always with yourself. So again, maybe this weekend, focus on that. See where your attention goes when you're in the race and there's somebody in front of you, or even in practice and there's somebody in front of you. See what happens to your riding, see what happens to your attention. Then if you get around that person, or if you get the whole shot, or if there's someone behind you, see where your attention goes also. Does it goes right behind you, and then you start riding a lot more cautious, right? So it's a funny thing, and then I noticed it in myself because I haven't kind of noticed this in a long time, because I haven't been racing for 9 years. And so once that happened, someone's in front of me, my attention's up there, then I pass somebody's behind me, my attention goes back, and now I need to be so much more perfect and all these things. But it's never, my attention wasn't directly with myself where that bike was at all times. Hopefully this makes sense to you guys, because I see this kind of a big weakness in the amateur racing. In the pro racing, they've kind of figured out not to get attached to who's in front, who's behind, name, numbers, and names. Be focused on that feel, that approach, that that technique. And then that will allow you to catch up to this person, or pull away from this person, or stay right where you are, gap-wise between the person behind you. But once your mind goes to who's in front of me, behind me, names and numbers, well, then that overriding happens, or that underriding happens. So try to get your attention to be focused with you, and not allow it to go ahead of yourself, behind yourself, or even around off the track by what mom and dad are thinking, mechanic thinking, coaches thinking, who's out there watching me. Put your attention in yourself this weekend and see what happens. Peace.